Good afternoon. Welcome to the Ramonepreston show. If you're coming on, please hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know your boy Ramonepreston, my squad, and the Ramonepreston show. We are live on this beautiful Thursday, this thankful Thursday, right here in the Buckhead community of Atlanta. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Ramonepreston show. Please hit the like button. You know I want you to hit the share button. Put in the comments what city you're watching me from. And be sure that you have already subscribed to my YouTube page. So that's hit the like button, share, put in the comments what city you're watching me from, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube page. For those of you that don't know, my name is Ramonepreston. I'm the host of the Ramonepreston show. Every Monday through Friday, we come here on this show really to share information with you that we know can help you properly start, structure, and at some point scale your business, your ministry, if you have a ministry or a nonprofit, your income streams and wealth building dreams. So it really doesn't matter if you're a W-2 employee, 1099, unemployed, fixed income, minister, business owner. There's a proper way to start, there's a proper way to structure, and there's a proper way to scale whatever it is that you endeavor to do in your personal life, in your professional life, in your financial life. And every time we show up here on this show, Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern, we give you tips, we give you strategies, we give you solutions, and all this information is an extension of what we do every day here at Ramonepreston Enterprises. So we have a consulting division for business and finance, coaching division, and a training and educational division. And so I always gather data, things that I know are working not just for us but for our clients and our students, and I bring them here in the form of this show to share information with you. So today I want to talk to you about business funding. How do you prepare for business funding? Now, if you missed yesterday's show, I talked about my seven ways to get business funding. My 7 ways to get business funding. And so I'm just getting some really good news in my email. I love when I'm on the show live and then I get an email and it's actually good news. So I'm very, very excited about that. But yesterday I shared with you the 7 ways to get business funding. And so today I want to show you how do you actually prepare yourself for business funding. So just in case you missed yesterday's show and you don't know what those 7 ways are, here are the 7 ways that you can actually get business funding. Now, I shared it yesterday starting at number 7, and we came to 1 because 7 will be like the last resort, and the first one, this would be the first resort. So these are 7 ways that I shared with you on how you can get business funding. So let's just start here with 7. The SBA. You got to familiarize yourself with the SBA. You got to stay on top of what they have going on, what programs, what grants. The 6th way is banks and credit unions. So you can always walk in your bank. You want to talk to a banker. You don't necessarily want to ask these questions to a teller. It's not that they can't direct you to a banker, but my wife and I, we've always had relationships with either the president, the manager, or somebody that sits in those offices that can help us really underwrite and know how to work our way through getting some type of funding when we need it. You want to try local banks as well, regional banks. Maybe there are other banks outside of the bank that you bank with. A lot of us, we bank with the Truists, the Bank of Americas, Wells Fargo's, and Chase's, but there are a lot of local banks. There are a lot of regional banks. There are a lot of community banks that, number one, they want your business, and number two, when you have business relationships with them, they're willing to work with you to make sure that they get you to a place that you can get funding. Number 5, credit cards and lines of credit. So I always say, if you have a credit card or you got a couple credit cards and they're personal credit cards and they're in your personal name, well, that's a good sign that you might be able to get a business credit card once you get your business established and set up the right way, okay? So if you have an individual credit card, you can always go back, circle back around and try a business credit card. A line of credit, a lot of times they may require you to have some type of collateral, credit score, some type of real estate or property that has equity in it for you to get that line of credit, but that's always a good way of funding. Family and friends, that's number 4 on the list, because your family and friends, some of them have money, some of them have savings, some of them have certain investment money set aside, but they have to trust you. And you got to approach them like a business person. So I always recommend, when you go into a family member or a friend or somebody that you know have the means to support you and invest in your business, go to them in a way that you're a business owner. Even if you don't got this 20-page business plan, maybe you go to them and say, I need to borrow $5,000 and I need you to give me 5 months. Right? So now you ask for a certain amount and you gave them a timeline. When you do this, especially the family members and friends, don't tell people you're going to pay them back at a certain time and don't pay them back. You want to do business. You want to build a business relationship. So you ask them the amount, you tell them what it's for, and you give them a timeline, let them know when you're going to pay them back. And if they need interest, let them know they can get interest from you, because if they got, let's say, $5,000-$10,000 sitting in the bank and it ain't getting no interest, but they can trust that you're going to pay them back at a certain time with interest, then you can write up a promissory note and actually get funding from your family and friends. Number 3, savings and retirement. So if you got a savings account, if you got a retirement account, well, it's your business. You should be betting on yourself. You got to look into it. If you don't know how much money you got in your retirement account or your 401k or 403b or IRA or whatever it is that you got, call the administrators who are over it to see how much money you have and to just ask them questions to see, if I were to cash out right now, what would I be penalized? And if I move that all over to a LLC, how would that work? So you just can find out what that looks like, especially in this post-COVID era. They have certain perks and benefits that they're providing for people. I know some people who have had opportunities to pull money out of retirement accounts and not even be penalized within a certain window as long as they put that money back. So that's a good way. Number 2 on the list is your W-2 job. So that means you got to readjust your W-4. You might have too much taxes being taken out, so you can lower your tax bill on your job, and all your free income from your job, you should be putting it in your business. And then we have a sell-off strategy. That's one of the most powerful strategies I give to my students and clients. If you got things that you can sell them things. You can always come back around. If you got a diamond ring worth $5,000, but you need $5,000 for your business, if you don't go sell that ring, if you got an extra car and you got the title to the car, well, drive one car and sell the other car. If you got designer clothes, go to a consignment shop and just get off of them, just to get them couple thousand to get your business going, and you can come back around and sell it. And then number 1 is sales. You got to have products and services, and if you have products and services, sometimes just selling them, because if you get all these things here and you still don't know how to sell products and services, you're going to run into trouble. See, I've been through all this before. That's why I know how all this stuff works, because there was a time I had credit cards, I had loans, I had merchant accounts, I had lines of credit, I had hard money loans, I had it all. And guess what happened? Once that money started getting spent to pay my bills for my business, for me to get a little something to take care of myself, and for me to just keep my business growing and going, I ran into an issue where now when I have to start paying these loans back and these credit card bills every month, guess what happened? I didn't have enough sales to sustain both of them, and it put me in a real tight situation. So I wanted to go over these 7 again so you can see ways that you can get funding. The number 1 way is by sales. Now, today I want to talk to you about your business funding. So how do you actually prepare? So let's just assume you want to use one or more of these ways to get a business loan, right? So if you're going to get a business loan, let's say from family and friends, if you're going to get a business loan from a bank, if you're going to have some type of program with the SBA, or you're going to get credit cards or lines of credit, or you're going to use some type of investor or lending institution to give you money, depending on what their criteria is, that's going to determine how you need to prepare. So that's why what I like to do a lot, even when I talk to lenders today, when I talk to investors today, when I talk to bankers today, I still ask them questions, because I want them to underwrite. I want them to underwrite the loan even before I even qualify for the loan. And so what that means is, when somebody underwrites a loan, you might hear this term more in real estate, but this is still similar when you're getting a loan for your business, because there's going to be an underwriting process, which means that there's going to be a process where they take your information, your personal and business data, they're going to put it in a system. It's going to be like the length of your the length of the history of your business, your credit report, your credit, your credit score, how much money you got coming in, what your expenses are, what's your debt ratio, all these factors. They're going to underwrite it, and they're going to help to determine if you qualify or not. A lot of times you can talk to bankers, you could talk to investors who understand underwriting, you could talk to lenders who understand business funding, and they can, if they're good, they can really underwrite to help you understand and see what it will actually take for you to get a $10,000 loan or $50,000 loan. But again, there are so many people, especially on the internet today, who are in the business of working with you to help you get funding. So I'm not knocking them. If you're in the business of helping people get funding, kudos to you, shout out to you. I'm not in that business. And if I was in that business, my business would be the structure and the setup side of things. And that's why I'm talking about what I know in terms of how you need to prepare for business funding. And so the way you prepare is, number one, you get your entity structured the right way. You got to structure your entity the right way. And the better you structure your, in my estimation, I believe, excuse me, the better you structure your entity, the better off you can be to build a solid infrastructure to qualify. So again, I teach about the holding company. So let's just assume you have your holding company, LLC. And again, the reason why I can use this example, because I did the same thing. So I'm not telling you something I didn't do. I did the same thing. But I've also done it the other way, where I got merchant accounts, I got hard money lenders, I got credit cards, I got certain people to just open doors for me, to give me opportunities to get more business. And I used all of them collectively to help fund my business endeavors. But again, what happened was, because I really didn't have my structure set up correctly, I really wasn't making enough sales to justify all the credit cards I had, to justify the merchant accounts I had, to justify hard money loans, to justify credit cards and lines of credit and all these things. I didn't have enough sales. So again, my first step in preparation for business funding is for you to have your holding company, LLC, preferably, just preferably. And then if you have other business operations, you have your operating LLCs. Okay, this is how I would set you up, because you wanna be set up the right way. Okay, so let's say you got your holding company, LLC, and then you got your operating company or companies, LLC. Now, what do you need for all of these companies? This is part of your preparation. What do you need? Well, you need your EIN number. You need your Secretary of State articles. You need your operating agreement. You need a bank account. Okay? Those are the things that you definitely want to have. It's not going to hurt you Sometimes it really don't help you depending on what type of funding you getting, but it ain't gonna hurt you to have your Duns and Bradstreet, and there are many other credit bureaus. The truth is there are a lot of different bureaus that you can sign your business up for. But again, I'm not in that business, so I'm not going through all that stuff. Okay, I don't get into that because I know that's not my strength. That ain't my strong suit. One thing about me, I'm not gonna be doing a whole lot of talking about stuff I'm not doing. I don't do credit repair, credit restoration, helping you to get your business, Duns and Bradstreet or credit report. I don't do that. You got to find somebody who does that if that's the direction you want to go. For me, I went a different direction because I tried those ways and I saw some level of opportunity and I had some success. But again, as time went on, I realized that I had to come back to, hey, you got to have a business that's actually got products and services that you can still sell. Otherwise, all that other money gonna run out at a certain point. So you're gonna have your EIN, your Secretary of State articles, your operating agreement, your bank accounts, and let's just say you got your Duns and Bradstreet or whatever credit bureaus you want to sign your business up for, because sometimes it's gonna cost you. Most of the times it's going to cost you to sign those things up. So most startup companies, if they're looking for business funding, they probably can't even afford this. So you may have to hold off on that or wait until you're able to invest in that. But in any case, you're definitely going to need your EIN number, your Secretary of State articles, your operating agreement, and your bank account, because this is going to solidify and legitimize the legal side of your entity. Okay, so let's just say you got this situated. Okay, you got those boxes checked. What's the next thing you're going to need to do? I personally think you need to work on your systems. This is why I walk all of my clients through a 5-step process. So anytime I sit down with a client or I'm working with someone who is putting a business together, I even have all this on my training platform. I have a self-assessment to walk our students through. The first thing we want to do is look at your financial targets. So we want to see how much money are you needing and what are you actually planning on doing with that money. Okay, so you need a financial target. That's a financial target. You need a financial target because if you're saying you want to get business funding, you need to justify and qualify that, like quantify it. What do you need? So if somebody came to you right now and said, I want to invest in your business, I want to loan you some money, or I want to give you a line of credit to get your business off the ground, but I need you to show me the numbers. I need you to quantify every dollar so that we can see where it's going to go. Do you have that? Well, this is a part of your financial targets. You got to have a financial target to know how much you need because of what you're trying to do, okay? So when you have that, now you're able to use that financial target. That's always step one to move into, okay, what are my products and services? So you need your financial target, but then you need to figure out what are your products and services. What are your products and services? Because if you have, let's just take some time to think about this. If you have financial targets for your business, if there's a certain dollar amount you want to make, or if there's a certain dollar amount you want funding for, let's just say if you want $50,000 of funding. Okay, what do you need $50,000 for? Like, where is the $50,000 going to be allocated to? Because see, what happens a lot of times is we really don't need business funding as much as we just need money for ourselves. Like, it's understandable because I've been there. So a lot of times we looking for business funding because it's like, man, I need money. I need money to pay my bills. But that means you really cannot quantify and justify that type of funding you need because you don't even know where it's going to go. This is why you got to take the time and sit down, because if you're trying to figure out why you never get funding, why nobody invests in you, why nobody responds to you, why you're always denied, it ain't just because of your credit report. It ain't just because you ain't making a certain amount of money in your business. Sometimes it's because you just don't have the main things together and you all over the place and nobody really can't quantify what you're actually doing. So you got to be able to do the math to know, okay, if I had $50,000, I'm going to put 10 up for my salary for the next 3 months. I'll get paid, let's say $3,000 a month or whatever your salary is. I'm going to put 10, let's say I'm going to put 12 up, $4,000 a month for my salary. I'm going to take 8 and I'm going to put it towards marketing. I'm going to take 5 and I'm going to put it towards education. I'm going to take 25 and I'm going to put it in products and inventory, and I'm going to hire a personal assistant or whatever, virtual assistant. You need to quantify all that so you can look at and say, wow, if I had 50 grand, these are all the things that I can do. But then you need to look at your products and services. Do you have products and services that can sell? Do you have products and services that can sell? And you can't tell me, oh, I got products and services, but I just can't sell it because I need to run ads. No, you don't. You don't need to run ads to make money. Now, of course, when you got money to run ads, you can make more money, especially if you got the expertise and you know how to properly run them, but you don't need that to make money. There are people still today who cold call. There are people still today who email. There are people still today who knock on doors. There are people still today that go out to events and network and pass out cards. There are people still today who go on social media and all they do is put out tons and tons of video, value, information, links, and they build their following to get the attention so that they can make sales for their products and services. So don't use that as an excuse. And please don't be the person that say, well, I can't get this done because I ain't got no funding for my business. You got to be the biggest financer and funder of your business anyway. And you got to be creative, especially if you're committed. So once you got the legal side of your business set up, then you need to really have a financial target. Once you figure out what your financial target is, so that could be a target of money you want to make, and it could be a target of the amount of money you just need funding to make that money. So if you want to make 100 grand, let's say if you want to make $100,000 and you know it's going to take, what? Is it going to take 50,000 for you to make 100? But what is that 50,000 going to be made up of? Like, what are the items? You need to itemize it. So if I had 50,000, it can help me get to 100,000 because here are the products and services that I have. And then you need to do the math on that. How many products and services do I need to sell in order for me to make 100,000? And then once you do the math on that, now you can get to your systems and your processes. Now you need to figure out, okay, what systems and processes that I need. This is why I teach and talk so much about the main systems and processes every business needs, because you're gonna need a sales system and a sales process. Now I know you're thinking to yourself, man, how is all this preparation to get business funding? Because this is what it is to start and to structure and to build a real business. All that other stuff you listening to, some of those things are just pipe dreams, and it makes people run down this dead end road and they never get to where they want to go, because in their mind they trick themselves into believing, man, somebody gonna give me a loan, somebody gonna fund me, somebody gonna give me a credit card. And I'm telling you, that road is gonna be a dead end road for most people. And if you run down that road, even if you have some type of success, but you do not have the ability to be able to turn around, U-turn, and come back and still succeed, you're going to be a casualty. So don't go down those roads. It may feel like it's tough doing it this way, but when you do it right the first time, then you're gonna get the momentum. So like for me, I tried it that way. For years, I tried finessing my way through the business world like that. Let me get credit cards. Let me apply for another one. Let me get an increase. Let me get a merchant account. Let me get a trade line. Let me put my name on somebody else's credit card so my score can go up. Let me go with Duns and Bradstreet. Let me try to get on some of these other credit bureau lists. Let me put a proposal together. Let me pitch to an investor for somebody to invest. I tried all those things, and guess what? I had some success with some of those things, but it still led me back to sales. And so now, when you have your financial targets, when you have your products and services, and you know how you can sell them and what the prices are and what you have to do in order to reach the number you want to reach based on the funding that you say you want, now you want to put your sales systems in place. You want your sales systems and processes. You want your marketing systems and processes. You want your financial systems and processes. And you actually want your operational. But more important is going to be your sales and marketing. Because now you got to take your products and services and you have to have systems and processes for these areas. So that means you got a sales system. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about like a CRM. And they have CRMs today because we use them too. They have CRMs today that you can actually do marketing in. So you can kind of cover both of these if you have the right CRM. And so we've switched, we've used what, 2 or 3 or 4 different CRMs, because sometimes we get to a certain point of doing certain things and we realize that, okay, we can't find the right integration. We don't know how to track this particular information. So we'll jump to another CRM if it works a little better. Or if this one works, but that one works a little bit more, we'll figure out, can we use both of them? One for this and one for that. But they have a lot of CRMs. A CRM is a customer relation management software, a system. You can find one that actually works for your sales and your marketing. And as I said, we have one that we use. One of the CRMs that we use right now, we cover these two, and we get a little bit of operational systems and processes done in that one CRM that we can track certain activity. But you definitely have to have at least a CRM. And then when you have your CRM, now you're able to start tracking all your activity, your sales activity, because you want to be able to quantify these things. And what if somebody asks for this information? They might not ask for your sales and marketing information or your CRM data, but they're probably going to ask you for your financials. And you say, well, I just started my business. Well, you can still track the money you're spending. You can still put together a projected forecast of what you know you can make based on the industry you in, the products and services, the prices, the volume of products and services you sell, and what all you need to do. You still need to have these quantified projections and forecasts. So if this is too complicated for you, or you feel like, man, this is like weird, this don't sound like all the gooey, ooey stuff that other people be talking about, well, there are a few things you got to take into consideration. Number one, maybe you just need to get educated on structuring a real business so that you can build a real business. So that's going to require education. It's going to require time for you to train. Because if you're trying to get funding and loans and credit cards and all these things, and you ain't got none of this stuff in place, I already know you're wasting money. I already know. You don't have to tell me. I know you're spending money recklessly because you don't know what you're doing. And that's not how you're going to build a business. And that's going to go out of, that's going to wear out and go empty at some point. At some point, the credit card is not unlimited. The credit line is not unlimited. The loan is not unlimited. The funding is not, you don't have an unlimited access of capital. So you got to be very strategic. So maybe you got to put at the top of that list, let me educate myself on how to start and structure and really build a business. Number one, while I'm educating myself, let me work on knowing my numbers. Let me make sure I know what my financial targets are and how much money it's going to cost for me to get there. A lot of entrepreneurs don't even know how much money it's going to cost for them to get to where they say they want to go. So when I hear entrepreneurs say, I want to make $1 million in a year, I already know they don't know how much it's going to cost to make $1 million a year. They think they're going to spend like $200 and make $1 million. It ain't going to happen. Nobody does that. Even dope dealers don't do that. Criminals know better than that. So if you're going to do it the right way, you got to know your numbers. And then you got to work on your products and services. This is going to help you with your funding, because now you can start projecting how much money you can actually make in the event you did get a loan or you got funding. And then you want to put your systems and your processes together. You definitely want to have a financial system like QuickBooks. You want to put this financial system together because you want to be able to track, even if you don't have income coming in yet, you want to track your expenses. But it's going to be very hard. Have you ever watched Shark Tank? Have you ever watched the show Shark Tank? Have you ever seen an entrepreneur come in there with a business idea and it's a pre-revenue business? So they come in there with this great idea. Oh, I got this product. It's $1 billion industry. We got 200,000 orders. And then one of the sharks asks them, so how much money have you made up to this point? Well, we're pre-revenue. Everybody's like, oh, Lord. Because in their minds, they're thinking, how do you expect for somebody to invest in your business? How do you expect to get funding or a loan for your business and you don't even know how to make a sale yet? So it's because you lack certain skill sets. A bank is not going to trust that unless you line somewhere. You might get by with a credit card company, but at some point you got to show something. And then even if you do have something to show because you're doing a little bit, how are you going to scale that? How are you going to use those funds to scale it? And where are you going to scale it to? You need to know that. You can't just get money from a bank or credit cards or lines of credit and say, you know what? I'm going to just throw $5,000 over here. I'm going to throw $3,000 over there. I'm going to try this with $2,000. I'm going to try this with $1,500. I'm going to take me a couple grand so I can eat for the next few months. And bada bing, bada boom. Ta-da, everything happens. It don't work like that. Okay? So I'm showing you the healthy way to do it so that you can put yourself in a position to get business funding and know exactly what you need to do with it. So it's all going to start with you having the right financial targets. Okay? So let's walk back through this. I know this is boring some people because some people, they just want me to sell them a dream. I already know it. They want me to sell them a dream. Oh, I can show you in 2 minutes how to get $25,000 from your bank. But the problem is most people who try that don't get it. And the proof is in the pudding. So the numbers and the results don't lie. So every once in a while, somebody finesses and maneuvers their way through. They beat the system. They get an opportunity. They get a credit card. They get a loan for whatever the things are that are behind it. Maybe it's because they had a good credit score. They made enough money on their job. They had a big enough savings or retirement. Maybe they had stocks. We don't know what they did. But then here comes the other 99% of the population. Broke, ain't got no money, living paycheck to paycheck, struggling, strapped, don't really have products and services. Go get an EIN, go get a quick LLC, open up a bank account and think they're going to just walk into any bank and every bank, fill out credit cards, applications, fill out loan applications. If you go to this bank, if you do this, if you do that. Well, that might work for some people, but most people it ain't working for. And the proof is in the pudding. The numbers don't lie. If it worked for all these people, it would be working for all these people. It ain't working for all these people. So every once in a while, somebody gets through, but we still don't know all the details of what got them approved. We still don't know that, okay? So you want to make sure you have, number one, the right financial financial targets. This is how you prepare. You get your targets. First of all, you make sure you get your LLC set up right. You want to get your LLC set up right. So let's just say it that way. You want to get your LLC. Now, this includes your EIN, your Secretary of State articles, your operating agreement. This includes getting your bank account. That's all LLC, right? Okay. Then when you get that, now you want to work on your financial targets. And you want to be able to do that math. So that means whatever the dollar amount is that you really need to get your business going, you want to know what that dollar amount is. And you want to itemize everything that you will put that money towards and have an idea of how much you can project that money can help make you. Even if it's not 100% accurate, you still need to have some type of projection. In order for you to be able to do that, you have to have products and services, because you don't know how much money you can make if you don't have products and services to sell. So now that's going to be one element. And then you're going to need your systems and processes. So you want to make sure you got your systems and processes. And then once you get that, all you need after that is just execution, for you to just keep every day, keep at it, selling, marketing, training, educating, getting better. And as you gain this momentum and as you create more and more activity, you put yourself in a position to either show that you have the potential to make money, or you legitimize yourself enough that you can go back here to your family, or to a bank, or to your credit card company, or you're confident enough to go pull your retirement money, or maybe you're able to take your items and sell them. Now you're able to utilize some of these strategies because you put a real business together and you feel good about what you're doing. So I would love to know what your biggest takeaway was from today's show. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was from today's show. If there was something that you heard me talk about and you feel like it was actually valuable, I would love to know what that takeaway is. Please put your takeaway in the comments so everybody else can read and see what you actually took away from today's show. I'm actually going to be talking about some of these things this Saturday. Okay, 2 days from today, we're going to be at the Marriott Buckhead Conference Center from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. I'm hosting a free Millionaire Mastermind, and I'm taking like some of the most important components, principles, and concepts that I've used to go from hood figure to seven figures. I'm taking my millionaire mogul principles and practices, and I'm breaking them up in bite-sized pieces to share with you, to show you that you can become a millionaire. You can become a 6- and 7-figure earner. You definitely can become a 6-figure earner, but guess what? It's going to take time. It's going to take energy, education. It's going to take resources and money. So you have to be willing to invest these things, again, in order to get to where you want to go. And if you're interested in getting business funding, or getting credit lines and putting yourself in a position where people can invest in your business and you have those resources available, well, you have to show that by investing in yourself. Like you got to have some skin in the game. You got to have skin in the game. Like, it amazes me, and I say this respectfully, but it amazes me how many entrepreneurs I talk to who have been in business for a while, who grind and hustle and get out there every day and scrap it out, but who have never invested any substantial amount of money in their own education. It amazes me. They've invested in logos. They've invested in websites. They've invested in vehicles, in equipment, in technology. They've hired people. They've invested in everything except themselves, when you are the greatest asset for your business. So this Saturday is an opportunity for you to not even have to invest money. You just need to invest time and energy, and you can sign up and RSVP at ramonepreston.com/event. It's a Millionaire Mastermind, a 4-hour event that I'm going to be taking these 4 hours to really do a deep dive into what you need to do to properly position yourself and your business to become a 7-figure enterprise. I'm going to show you. I know exactly what to do because I'm doing it. I've done it, I'm continuing to do it, and I'm continuing to grow and move forward. And at some point, it's going to be 8 figures. And at another point, it's going to be 9 figures. And at another point, it's going to be 10 figures. And I'm going to be here. I ain't going to be saying millionaire mogul. I can't wait till I can say billionaire mogul. But I'm going to say it because I want you to see firsthand that it is possible, but you got to be willing to make the commitment. So please give me your biggest takeaway. Put it in the comments if you would be so kind. Also, let me know what we can do to help you if there's something that you're working on, even with preparing your business to get funding. All those steps that we talked about, we can help you get those things together. We can give you the information, the training. We can give you the resources and share with you our strategies and solutions for putting your business together the right way. So go to Ramonepreston.com, RSVP for free for our Millionaire Mastermind. If for some reason you have a question that's pressing and you just need an answer right now, just give me a call right here, 404-478-7213, 404-478-7213. Well, today's show was awesome. I hope you learned something today. Appreciate all of you for being on. And I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to helping you take your business, take your finances, take your legacy and your family and everything that you supposed to be doing on this planet, take it to the next level. So we'll be back here tomorrow, same place, same time, 12 o'clock noon Eastern, right here on the Ramonepreston Show.